Hello everyone, welcome to Past Preserver. Today we're going to be going over my biggest gripes on this Bad Boy MZ Magnum. Now, are these really nitpicky gripes or are they big gripes? Well, it's a bit of both, to be honest. I'm at 55.5 hours on it. And as you'll see, the seat is starting to get tore up. It does hold moisture if you leave it out in the rain, and even the dew in the morning will absorb into this, and if you have it up, it will drip. I don't know if you can see the rust there, but that's all from moisture, water dripping down. Not ideal, but I will say the seat is more comfortable than a conventional mower with a rubber seat. So it's got that kind of embroidered. Enough with the seat. It's okay, it does the job. On the battery, if you have a 2023 model or down, you'll have a plastic holder here, or hopefully you still will, because mine fell off. They have two rods here with wing nuts on the end. Those are known to back off, get loose. The rods fall down and into your fans and will ruin them. So be careful, it'll tear up your fans, tear up your belt, which is what happened to mine. On the newer model, thankfully, the 2024 and up, they put a rubber strap on here and fixed that problem. So good on Bad Boy for that. Well, I haven't had too much of an issue with the fuel gauge. Every now and then while I'm filling it, I gotta kind of shake the tank for it to give an accurate reading. These are known to go bad. The brake cable located here. These wires are known to snap off fairly easily, so be careful with that. And I can say about the same with the throttle. This here is a replacement that I put on it. And right here is where the problem lies. As you'll see, this is very close to the muffler. It's just about touching it. And there would have been a black rubber coating, much like this, on it. And what happened was it heated up and it melted all together. It melted inside the line, it melted the little liner inside here, and it got this to where it would not move. And when I went to move it, it snapped the wire off. So I ended up having to replace the whole thing. What I would recommend doing is coming in and cutting back this black coating. I'm going to do that on the choke side too. I keep telling myself that because it's known to do it on the choke side as well. And you'll pull out and it'll just snap the wire off because it's stuck. As you can see, I cut it all the way back to here because it's touching kind of valve cover there and almost muffler there. Not the most ideal routing setup, but that's just kind of the way they had it. I really don't have any gripes on the Kohler engine. It puts out plenty of power. I've cut really thick grass with this. It does a good job. I do have a gripe with this cover though. It will build up grass and leaves as you're mowing, and you will feel heat on your back. So you want to turn around and make sure you're brushing this off periodically. This back cover, you can put a little hitch on it, but I wouldn't recommend carrying too much weight because as you can see, it's pretty flimsy. If you get stuck in the mud, I don't know about hooking a chain to it. I've seen these bent up before, so be careful with that. It's a little loud straight from the factory with that muffler. I put this tip on it to kind of angle the noise back, and it does help muffle it down just a tad. I mean, it's noticeable, so that's a nice upgrade, but definitely a little bit louder without that. The stock tires that come with this are okay if you're not going to do muddy or hilly areas, which you really shouldn't be mowing in the mud anyway, but sometimes you got a soft yard and there are spots you're going to get stuck in. Swamps. So these things actually work really good on this mower. They're AT280 65x8s by Destone, and they will fit on the rim. They're an 8-inch rim, and as you can see, you have some clearance, and it gives you a bit of extra bounce in your ride as compared to what the original ones were, which are these tires. They're pretty standard turf tread, 18 by 9.5 by 8, 4-ply. You know, they're not huge. Here's what kind of in comparison to what's on that mower, because that's the third one for this on this Kohler 3-wheeler. But yeah, pretty much that is what comes stock on it, and it's not a bad tire. As you can see, I didn't use it very much. I got stuck once in the yard and said, yeah, that's enough. The deck overall, I have no complaints about. However, I do wish it had a wheel in the front here. I wish it had one guide wheel just to help bump it over certain things, but you can feather the foot lift if you know you're going to go over something like, let's say, those roots there. If you know you're going to hit it, you can kind of pick up with the foot. Yeah, it's just a little gripe. Sometimes it'd be nice. I had a comment on one of my videos a while back that, oh boy, he did a great job making that mower look like it's run through the ringer at like 30 hours. Well, yeah, that's true. Pressure washing this is you got to be a little bit careful. These stickers are definitely not the greatest quality. They will blow off if you hit them with a pressure washer. The other one that was brand new I went and looked at was a Magnum. The G was not even on there. These stickers are known for falling off. Yeah, you gotta make sure the parking brake's on to open your front foot flap. I've added this little spring here to kind of make it bouncy. It definitely dampens it. That was a lawnmower seat spring, much like one of these, but a smaller version of it off of a mower more like that. Definitely nice because I foam filled the tires because I got tired of hitting stuff. I only hit one thing and that was enough for me to go, nah, I don't want to deal with that. It was a fence post. It was like in the fence and it was up off the ground, and I made one wrong turn and she just psh. I was like, nah, not again. But I will say foam filling them, while it makes it more stable on hills, especially with those tires because your front end's not wanting to come off the ground, it definitely makes it a much bumpier ride because you have no air that it kind of uses as the suspension. Another reason you can't really pressure wash this is, even though these are sealed bearings, if you happen to blow any water down into these, they will wear out early. There have been a lot of reports online of these things failing sooner than they should have. I also had someone say something about they've been through like 2 or 3 belts already within like 10 or 12 hours. Make sure you go in between your pulleys and check to make sure there's no rocks like wedged way up in there. Go all the way around each one, or even a piece of stick could get stuck down in there and it'll just stay there and it will eat up your belt from the inside out. So definitely keep an eye on that if you're eating belts early. These springs here are known to go bad. This big one here that runs the tensioner, it's known to snap off kind of at the end. That's another problem. Moving to transmissions, this belt routing diagram could be a little bit better. So pretty much that's a hydro, that's a tensioner, that's the engine, and then that's the hydro. So the one furthest back is the engine. It just doesn't look right. It should look like this. As you can see, this sticker is failing pretty hard. I don't know why they decided to go this route with like a sticker with plastic over it, and it's just not a good design. But as you can see, this is how the diagram should be. It should be engine at the back. You got this pulley, that pulley, your spindle, another pulley, your other spindle, the other pulley, and then your other spindle. Really simple, really easy to understand here. That's how that should be in the back, because looking at it at a glance, it just doesn't look right. The cell phone holder is comically small, so I don't recommend putting anything in here. Even the cup holder doesn't work very well. Don't put anything here you don't want to lose, because there's a good chance it will fall out. Coming down low, we have the transmissions, and they are non-serviceable with no filter. You cannot change the fluid in these. I guess you could if you wanted to take this all apart and turn them upside down and take it out the vent, but nobody's going to do that. These things are designed to run, I've heard people say, from 500 hours. I've heard people get 1,000. I've heard people get over that. I've heard people's fail sooner than that. But I have a feeling mine aren't going to last that long because of these taller tires. Of course, that's more stress on everything because they're not really designed for the extra tires. But time will tell. So far, everything still feels strong at 55 hours, and I've been running it just about the entire time with these tires, and no real issues with them. And I have been a little rough on them. Yes, I have been rough on this machine, doing about 7 acres and not the nicest grass. It's definitely been a chore for it. I do like the drain is right here. That's nice. Your oil filter is right here, and there's a nice spot for the oil to drain straight down. You put your pan under it. That's a great idea. Your tensioner is up here. You have 2 bolts. You just kind of loosen one, tighten it, loosen it, however you want to do it. Up top is your deck or your drive belt for your hydros. Down low here is a 5/8 inch belt for your deck. That's a 1/2 inch up high. And I kind of wish it was just running the 5/8 as well. But, you know, that's just how it is. Because when that hooked on there with that rod from the battery, it fell down and it did derail this and left me kind of stranded. Speaking of which, if you happen to get stranded, how you release the hydros are these guys here. You have one on this side and one on this side. You'll notice that I'm missing a pin because from the factory, that is the only pin that I got. Hooray. So basically I had to go find a tiny little drill bit that was the right size for this in order to push it out when that belt fell off. But what you do is you pull it out, you move this pin in all the way so that stays out, and that'll loosen up each wheel. What really ticks me off is they have these nice little cutouts on it. See that? And all they needed was a little ball there. You could go out and slam it over and it would stay out. But it doesn't really work that way. It kind of works that way, but not really. It just wants to go in. It's like they were so close to a good idea there. Something like this is all it needed, where you could pull it out, slam it down, let it up, let it in. I've kind of been saving my biggest gripe for last though, and that is the grease points. Look at this. We have an easy one here, easy one there. Those are for the arm controls. All right, no problem. You can get at them. Right down here, we have one for our deck tensioner. No problem. Come back here and we have one underneath this bolt. It is facing forward like this towards the front of the mower. Now, you would think you can get a grease gun down in there. No, there is no way. Even if you had a 90 degree and were to kind of pop it in there, you really couldn't. The only way to do it, and you can't get it from the back. It's hard to show you because of trying to get the camera even up in here. Let me see if I can point it out. But it is right here on my finger. Hold on. All right, I'm touching the grease point. It is up here. You will see there's a plate that just runs the entire length there. And there's no good way. If they would have angled it back here, if they would have angled it back this way, which there's no reason they couldn't have, it would have been perfectly fine. You could have snaked up in here, clicked on, put your grease in, no big issue. The only way I've found to grease this port is to take your grease gun. I have two hoses put together and this made it so much easier because I can leave my gun on top of the battery here. Watch your terminals, don't ground out that one. But basically you want to come down and up underneath, and it's very hard to do and even harder to show you, but you want to come up underneath and you can kind of see down in that hole. Well, maybe you can't. Let's see if you can see that. There's a one spot. You see the daylight around it? Not really. There's one spot down in there. See the daylight? Now you can push that up in through, and then it's right here in front of you. So what you want to do is take a pair of long hose pliers and make sure they'll fit around there. You're basically going to grab onto that hose and twist it around until you get to click on there. And then getting it off is also a pain. You won't be able to get on here with a quick attach or a real big head on your grease gun, so you're going to have some narrow one like this. Getting it out is just as tricky. So let me know in the comments how many people even knew that was a thing, or that these were a thing, because none of them were in the manual. It only mentioned that one down there, which I think is a problem. And also how many of you have serviced that one, because I doubt many want to climb up underneath there and do that. They've made it as hard as they could. All they had to do was angle it this way and it would have been fine. For anyone wondering, here is kind of the cut quality. I went all the way down and then we kind of bumped it up and bumped it up and bumped it up. I believe it was 1.5, 3 inches, 4 inches. So you can kind of see the whoop whoop difference there. This isn't really a gripe, but it might be to some people that aren't used to it. The choke is on this side and your key is on this side along with your throttle. Now, to help you figure this out, sit down on it, make sure your parking brake is up, just pull the choke with this hand. You can go ahead and turn the key on, start it with this hand. This hand can still be over here, push that down, shut your choke off, and then push down on your brake. Go ahead and flick your throttle up, pull out your clutch, your PTO, and then you're ready to go. That's about the easiest way to go over how to run this thing. So basically you can use your left and right hand very easily, very effortlessly. Now the deck lift I really like. Not all mowers you can do this on. That John Deere I had, you couldn't. You can take the bolts off. There's a video on how to swap this over on the channel and put it over here. You just whoop whoop back and forth. So if this foot's hurting you, which is what my problem was, this foot was hurting me quite a bit, so I swapped it over to this one, and that works great. There's also an electric lift. I don't know anything about it, so I really don't have any opinions, or can't say how quick it is. I definitely just wanted the manual lift because there's no motor to go wrong, and I don't have to wait if I'm coming up on a stump again, you know. I can just whoop, pick it up, be done. Also want to mention they do apparently make a roll bar for this, so if you're looking for doing hills, this thing, it's okay on hills, but I don't really recommend it with those tires and that setup. This here with the foam filled in the front and these things on the back actually does a pretty decent, you know, slope. So I'm not mad, I'm just kind of disappointed. It's not a bad mower overall for the $4,600. It's gonna do, you know, 1 or 2 acres if you're taking care of that. I've heard of people that's starting lawnmower companies and stuff with this and running them quite a bit. So they've had good luck with them. People have had bad luck with them. Like, you know, that battery hold down. I've seen a couple videos of that falling in and ruining someone's day. Totally understandable. You know, it's not a commercial mower by any means, but it definitely is built fairly heavy. I really don't see it breaking too easily, like frame wise or anything like that. But let me know what you think. If you haven't owned one of these, I want to know your experience. Leave it in the comments below. I've been getting a lot of views on my Bad Boy stuff, and I really would like people to be as informed on this as they can be, because that is a chunk of change. That was more than I've ever spent on a mower. And yeah, I understand having questions about it and how long is it going to last me, how good is it. So here's kind of my list of what all I found wrong with it so far in 55 hours of owning it, and what other owners have said. So leave a like if you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do more content as things go wrong with it, but hopefully not much goes wrong with it. I kind of quit mowing people's yards. It was just eating up so much of my time, doing 6, 7, 8 acres at a time, and I just I thought I was going to get heavy into it, and it was like, nah, I've got too many other projects to work on. This Model A is eating up a lot of my time at the minute. We're getting closer to having it running. I got a distributor found for it and need a starter, water pump. It's getting there. Hopefully I gotta order some more parts. It's not cheap putting the rest of that motor together, you know, but hoping by the end of the summer to have that body on here and having this running driving frame. That's the goal. So leave a like, hit subscribe. There'll be more to come. I've been trying to make videos here lately, and I've just been striking out. That the starter went out on. This thing needs a belt. That thing, I had a valve snap off when I was trying to get it loose. So it's just been kind of, I've been trying to make content for you guys. It's just not been working. And it takes a lot of extra time to try and film. I got probably an hour or 2 worth of footage on it Gravely, and we went through the carb on it. Now we're off subject here, mostly for padding to help pay for this video. You know, you guys know how YouTube works by now. Got to make it a 10-minute video at least. Get a couple ads in there. But it's an 816 Gravely. I bought it, oh goodness, I don't remember how old I was. 10, 8, 12, nah, I don't remember. Basically got it for like $40 at an auction, and pretty happy with it then, and never really got to run it. Those tires are actually foam filled. So very heavy. There's a lot of weight on that rear end. Up here is just the gas tank and the battery. This thing, it's all gear drive. It almost drives like a hydrostat. You got forward, reverse, you got a 4-speed here and a high-low, and then hydraulic lift for the deck and the back. So it's a pretty cool unit. I've been wanting to get it up and going. The starter went out while I was trying to get this thing to run. It does turn over. I don't know if I got sparked because I couldn't get it to turn over. It went and then nothing. So I gotta tear all this off and get down in there and see what's up with the starter, clean it, fix it, replace it. I don't know. Kind of want to get this one up and mowing though. The steering is a little off, and that concerns me because these are known for having steering issues. And look at that. Look at this. It has a cigarette lighter. That is high society right there. So I'll see you in the next one. There will be a video on this at some point because I do plan on doing it up. It's just when. That's the question. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and have a great day.